Elaine Austin says encounters with homeless people in Palm Springs are becoming the norm and more dangerous.
Good evening, I'm Karen Devine.
And I'm John Whiteside. Police in Palm Springs are warning that dozens of homeless people and some jail inmates are being brought into the city and eventually released.
And she's not the only one who says they're scared to be in their own neighborhood.
I'm real afraid when you get accosted walking to your car because you won't give a homeless person money.
Shelter, food, and water.
Wow. Pure water.
For any animal, let alone any human being, these are fundamental needs. And when any one of these needs becomes unavailable to someone, the desperation that arises not only devastates the individual, but it also adversely alters the landscape of their surroundings.
And when that happens, those of us lucky not to face this situation split into two groups. We either shower our attention and our prayers on the suffering, or we're concerned about the impact on our streets and neighborhoods and businesses. Both these attitudes serve little toward resolving the issues. But there is a third kind of people, the kind that take cognizance of the situation and don't just sit back and wait for those in charge to magically resolve the problem. Instead, they take initiative. And today, I want to introduce you to one such ingenious bunch.
In the modern world, with insurmountable amounts of wealth and growth, for most people, the fight for basics isn't even a thought. Yet, in these world-leading centers of development, homelessness is spreading like fire. This situation is further exacerbated by the rise of COVID, and no place in the USA has seen its effects like California. There certainly aren't many people among us who don't feel a pang of empathy when we spend a few moments considering the pain a person with no shelter feels every moment of every day. And many among us spare change or food for those in need and do their part, which is appreciable. But there are others who pause and ponder, how can this situation be eradicated? Because it isn't going to solve on its own. And recently, I had the good fortune of encountering two such gentlemen who gave this issue much more thought than most of us do. They began formulating a cohesive strategy to proactively assist the unsheltered and rehabilitate them back into a functioning part of society.
And what we're trying to do really is advocate for solutions and services that address the needs of people experiencing homelessness.
David Murphy and David Toner, the two Davids, met on a website designed for interaction between people living in a neighborhood. And they, along with other members of the community, decided to form an advocacy group to explore the core reasons for homelessness and the pragmatic, organized ways to eradicate it.
I think one of the differentiating characteristics both then and now is that it was much more compassionate and focused on solutions rather than complaints, which I think is a lot of what we see on Nextdoor, social media, and other places.
And hence, the Community Partnership on Homelessness was formed. The focus and purpose of CPoH is to advocate for political action that will mitigate homelessness and forge a pathway for all those who are experiencing homelessness to get the help they need.
And there is a genuine sense of wanting to help and make a difference, and also to not accept that it's okay for people, residents of Palm Springs in this case, in businesses to basically just kind of drive by and let people harm themselves and stay in harm's way out on the street. That it's not good for them, and it's not good for the civic environment to let that happen.
The element of looking at this issue more broadly, of working to find an effective middle ground that addresses the betterment of the homeless and at the same time also addresses community concerns, is what is unique to CPoH.
And what we're trying to do really is advocate for solutions and services that address the needs of people experiencing homelessness, with the goal of improving the entire community, both the environment for the people that are on the streets, as well as the vibrancy and the energy that are so unique to Palm Springs.
While maintaining the traditional methods of helping people experiencing homelessness through volunteering and food aid, CPoH is making a call to alter the day center method of shelter and build an environment where the homeless find not just shelter, but also a full range of professional support designed specifically to address and overcome the hurdles they face.
It's to understand who they are, why they're out on the street, what keeps them out on the street. So there's that element. It's educating themselves, and then to get involved, even if it's just lending their name and their email as one of hundreds in the community that are advocating for more and better services and more comprehensive services for that community.
When we look at what's available today and really what's needed in the community, creating a comprehensive wraparound service, or what's often called a navigation center, is number one on our agenda in terms of working with the city, the county, and other groups to try to create a one-stop shop that could provide shelter, housing options, and most importantly, access to any treatment that may be required: addiction treatment, mental health, job training, etc. This is shown to work incredibly well in other cities, states where it's been developed, and it's something that's really lacking here in the community, and we think is the next big initiative or outcome to really bring services to the top notch for people that need them, and also really, as I talked about before, focusing on outcomes to provide solutions to get them treated and back out to be fully active and contributing members of the community.
Ever since its formation, CPoH is taking direct initiative and getting things moving in the right direction.
We've made more progress, and I believe, not to pat ourselves on the back, but have had greater access and influence over the past 3 or 4 months than I think we ever could have imagined. Part of that may have been because we were pointing in the same direction as where the momentum was already going, but I think what our messages were to City Council through email campaigns, through public comments during City Council meeting, in subsequent City Council meetings, were played back by council members. And we're not just, it wasn't a celebration because it was parroting what we were saying. It was a celebration because it was moving the city towards more solutions, towards progress in addressing the issues.
Yeah, because the reality of the situation is it seems like almost at every step that you think you can move in a direction to solve this issue, or at least mitigate some of the problem or the severity of the problem. Almost at every step you hear or you find out about or hear somebody say, we can't do that because of fill in the blank. Prop 47, Boise case law, we don't control the courts. The police won't do that because it's a big waste of their time. I mean, it's a pretty comprehensive complex issue to solve.
Of course, anything worth achieving comes with its challenges. But for the Community Partnership on Homelessness, that doesn't mean you give up. To the contrary, they're gathering more people to help reach their goals. If, like myself, you think CPoH has a solid plan that will actually help mitigate homelessness in Palm Springs, here are the ways to help them.
The easiest way for someone to join our group is to go to our website, CPoH.org. So that's Community Partnership on Homelessness, abbreviated to CPoH.org. There's an easy, simple registration right there. There's also a collection of resources that we've gathered. A really important part of embarking on this journey was understanding the situation locally, as well as looking at best practices and services across California, across the country, even globally, to see how other communities have worked together to address this. So we've tried to collect a number of those on kind of a learning page so that anyone who's interested can come in and do a deep dive or just kind of look at articles that are of interest or relevance.
No matter what your stance is on homelessness, one thing is for sure. Everybody wants to see these people get shelter, to see them rehabilitated back into society. And I'm quite certain that CPoH is a step in the right direction.
I think you can feel two things that seem to be like opposing feelings at the same time. You can feel compassion and generally want to figure out a way to help. And you can feel some frustration and anger that our civic society has degraded to a point where we allow so many people to just be out on the street. You can have those same feelings at the same time. I mean, you just have to accept that. That doesn't mean you don't take action,